And I would like to thank the Chair, Honorable Gladys Wanga, for good leadership and guiding the committee to come up with this bill. I'm a member of that committee. First, this bill seeks to amend several tax bills, that is income tax, VAT, excise duty, Act, etc. These amendments are aimed at raising revenue to support government operations and also to support economic recovery after the COVID. However, these proposals are really not raising revenue. Madam Speaker, the net revenue which is supposed to be raised by these measures are only 1.8 billion, meaning that to fund the budget of 3.66 trillion, and administration measures are going to be used so that government can raise revenue and also raise revenue from other sources. Madam Speaker, it's important to note that only 3 sectors, manufacturing, finance and banking, communication, ICT, which constitute 13% of GDP, contribute 52% of tax revenue, meaning that from the tax revenue which we are supposed to raise next financial year of 1.7 trillion, these sectors are going to contribute 884 billion. So it's important for the government to look for other ways to raise revenue from the remaining sectors which contribute 87% of GDP. Otherwise, we are going to face a situation whereby there are going to be a lot of tax evasion and avoidance. Some of the sectors and the firms, because the tax measures we have been putting on, they are going to shift to other countries, and this may make this country lose jobs, incomes, and poverty levels may increase, as well as reduction in economic growth, and revenue may go down. It's important, Madam Speaker, to note that currently, a lot of beers, actually majority of beers and cigarettes, which are used along Kenya-Uganda border, they come from Uganda. And we are losing revenues because of these taxes. Madam Speaker, this bill has very important proposals which are going to help the citizens of this country. One of them is tax relief to people who contribute to National Housing Insurance Fund. As you all are aware that the cost of medicine is very high, and the government policy to increase or to achieve universal health care is going to be helped by this proposal. Madam Speaker, the other important proposal is tax rebates to employees who engage students from TVET. And the committee proposed that instead of saying the companies which would benefit from this tax rebate, they should take 10 students. The committee proposal of 5 students, so that SMEs can also be encouraged to take the students and also benefit from the tax rebate. To me, I support it, and it's very important. But also, there are also proposals which are really not welcomed, and we need to look at them and, of course, not support them. One of them is under VAT Act, which proposes exportation of taxable services from 0 rate to to exempt. Madam Speaker, these services, exploratory services, are like ICT services, transportation services. Can you imagine if we tax transport companies, lorries, owners of lorries? They are likely to move from this country to the neighboring country. Of course, if they move, we are going to lose jobs. Some countries will not allow drivers from Kenya to drive trucks in those countries. So we are likely to lose jobs and also lose corporate tax. So this one we should not support as a House. The bill also proposes VAT on bread. Bread is something which is consumed by almost everybody in this country, from the rich to the poor. And therefore, we should not support this. The bill proposes to delete requirement for National Assembly to approve regulations. And therefore, the regulations should be done without approval by the CS. This proposal should not be supported because we may have a CS giving CS these powers. In fact, it's a mistake. Therefore, we cannot support it. We may create a dictator in terms of giving him this approval. The bill also proposes to impose excise duty at 5% on motorcycles. Everybody knows the importance of motorcycles in terms of Bodaboda transport in the rural areas, in terms of providing and creating jobs and incomes at the rural areas. These are a proposal which we cannot support because we are going to kill that sector, we are going to lose jobs, and Madam Speaker, if we lose jobs, crime rate is going to increase in this country. Madam Speaker, the bill also proposes introduction of excise duty on locally manufactured sugar confectionery. 25%, the prices are going to increase. They are going to be at par with imported sugar confectionery and white chocolate. This one is going to hurt local manufacturers. Madam Speaker, one good thing which the bill also proposes is to give Retirement Benefit Authority powers to appoint Kenya Revenue Authority with the consultation with the trustees to recover unlimited pensions from employers. Madam Speaker.
Just one moment, and the Honorable Member for Kitui Rural. There is a member in the House who is not wearing mask. Please, honourable members, let us ensure that we put on our masks. We are not yet out of
Yellow.
it. Order. Who is this member? Order. 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 You cannot purport to share mask. In fact, not just with another member, with a lady member. With a lady member. Thank you. She has declined your offer. Carry on, Honorable Member.
Yeah, Madam Speaker, this proposal to give Retirement Benefit Authority to appoint KRA with a consultation with pension trustees is a welcome proposal because most of the employers, and especially government, county government, have not been contributing, limiting their to the pension trustees, and this is very important. Madam Speaker, government should look for ways of raising revenue and reducing their dependency on exchequer. One of them is to reduce tax expenditure from 6% to 3%, which is globally average. And this one will give us at least 300 billion, which we have been borrowing from local. It's very important to note that when it comes to tax holiday, the investors, they consider, actually tax holidays is the least considered factor in terms of encouraging investors to invest. Investors will look at credit availability and skilled labor. Madam Speaker, government should move swiftly and increase uptake of public-private partnership projects, which have less strain.
Let me have the member for Tetu, the Honorable Mwangi Gishuhi. The member representing the people of Tetu constituency, Honorable Mwangi Gishui, you have the floor.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, for giving me this opportunity to contribute to this important bill. And I wish to thank the chairperson, Honorable Gladys Wanga, for her exemplary presentation. And Madam Speaker, I also happen to be a member of Finance Committee. And a lot has been said. Specifically, there are issues like the issue of bread, the issue of motorcycles. But, Madam Speaker, what is before this House is the money bill as defined under Article 110 of the Constitution. This is where we have proposals to levy new taxes, how to modify the existing tax structures, and also continuation of the existing tax structures. In other words, it's all about taxes and government expenditure. Madam Speaker, we have the Tax Procedures Act, which contains some amendments. And more specifically, I want to address the issue contained in the miscellaneous provision of the bill, which amends the Capital Market Act, Cap 485. And more specifically, that is Clause 45. Madam Speaker, Clause 45 of the bill, and it is set to delete subsection 17 of section 35 of the Act. And that particular subsection says that any proposed transaction shall be suspended upon an appeal at the tribunal, but does not give a specific period within which a dispute will be resolved. Madam Speaker, the bill sets a 90-day period commencing on the date of the appeal for the Capital Markets Tribunal. We always say that justice delayed is justice denied. And looking at the principles of equity, delay defeats equity, and equity follows the law. Madam Speaker, before the bill came before the committee, and before the amendment, there was no time limit upon which appeals will be heard. But now this bill introduces a new subsection and gives a 90-day period. That means that the parties to a dispute have a time limit within which disputes can be resolved. And for that reason, Madam Speaker, I highly support the bill and that particular amendment. Madam Speaker, there is a subsection, clause 50 of the bill. It's on Kenya Revenue Authority. And several members have talked about the particular proposal. That's an amendment that seeks to increase the maximum reward to a person who provides information leading to identification of unassessed taxes. That is from 100,000 to 500,000. And also information leading to recovery from 2 million to 5,000 million, to 5 million. To me, Madam Speaker, this is a very important amendment because, Madam Speaker, it's going to encourage informers who can volunteer information and get some reward. And previously, there is an increment on the reward, specifically from 100,000 to 200,000. And also for recovery of assets, from 2 million to 5 million. And Madam Speaker, if you look at clause 49 of the bill proposes to introduce a prescribed annual fee to be paid by a registered insurer. And this will be effective from 1st January 2022. Madam Speaker, this is a regulation which ensures that there is productivity and growth as well as competition and investment in the insurance industry. And Madam Speaker, this is not something new because it is happening with other bodies like the Law Society of Kenya, and I'm sure also with the medical practitioners, where they pay a prescribed annual fee. And Madam Speaker, once we introduce that specifically contribution, it will ensure that there is growth and more competition in the insurance industry, and also make sure that only competent players will be in that industry. Madam Speaker, also looking at clause 44 of the bill, there's an amendment that seeks to amend the Miscellaneous Fees and Levies Act, which reinstates goods which the Cabinet Secretary may determine in the public interest or promote investment of value not exceeding 5 billion, Kenya shares 5 billion, in IDF and also Railway Development Levy. And this, Madam Speaker, will help attract high-value investments in this country. And by that, Madam Speaker, we are going to generate more revenue and be able to run this country and finance projects. Madam Speaker, we have another important clause. That is clause 40 of this bill. And also there's an amendment that introduces a new section. That is immediately after section 108. And Madam Speaker, if I read, it says that where any matter under a tax law is an issue in any ongoing criminal case, and is also directly or substantially in issue in any pending civil case, that fact shall not be a ground for any stay, prohibition, or delay of either criminal or civil case. Madam Speaker, this clause is also as important as the one contained in the Capital Markets Tribunal, which sets a time limit. But on this one, this is a clause that ensures that justice is not delayed. That justice delayed is justice denied. So that when you have any matter that is pending, you cannot go to a court and obtain prohibition or injunction or obtain any you can or stay the proceedings. And with those few remarks, Madam Speaker, I beg to support. Thank you, Madam Speaker, for giving me this opportunity.
Very well, very well. The member for Tetu. Now we have the member for Kitui West, the Honorable Edith Nyense. You have the floor.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Let me take this opportunity to say on the onset that I support the bill with the amendments as proposed by the committee led by the able chair, Honorable Gladys Wanga. Let me say that I support the bill which proposes amendments on the increase, on increasing the maximum, on increasing, I actually support the bill which proposes the amendment and seeks to include post-retirement medical cover in the definition of retirement benefit as used in the Retirement Benefits Act, Clause 51 to 63 of the Retirement Benefits Act. This bill proposes to facilitate the regulation and registration of corporate trustees that provide services to the pension schemes. And this one is supposed to be registered with the Retirement Benefits Authority. Initially, the other stakeholders have been registered, like the custodians, fund managers, administrators, and others, but corporate trustees have not been regulated and registered by the Retirement Benefits Authority. But this bill now seeks to actually regulate the corporate trustees. It's very important to regulate them because they offer services for post-retirement medical cover. These are some of the stakeholders who are in charge of actually ensuring that the post-retirement funds are well catered for, and it's very important to register them and also ensure that they are qualified before they do such services. This will actually give members some security and hence encourage more members to save for their post-retirement medical cover. It's very important to have the post-retirement medical cover. Madam Speaker, you realize that Kenyans do not have a good culture of saving for retirement, but when they also save for their, after retirement, for their medical cover, it's very important because it is after retirement when most people get sick and they need this cover very, very much for them to actually ensure that they lead a good life after retirement. And therefore, this bill proposes to register the corporate trustees so that they can ensure that they are qualified. Currently, the corporate trustees are not regulated by Retirement Benefits Authority, and despite them being entrusted with the management of the pension funds. And this creates a risk in a situation where the corporate trustees does not have the required qualifications for them to handle the pension funds. So this amendment, this bill seeks to amend this to ensure that the corporate trustees are accountable for their actions. Then this bill, Madam Speaker, also proposes to introduce an annual fee to be paid by registered insurers. And this will take effect from 1st of January 2022. Currently, insurers once registered, are not required to apply for renewal of their registration. And by them renewing their registration, we will give some revenue to the IRA, which is Insurance Regulatory Authority, to undertake the activities which they are required to regulate, where they are required to regulate the sector. Madam Speaker, in order to cushion the consumers, and especially during this time of COVID, when most people have been affected, most small businesses have been affected, and most Kenyans are having a lot of problems because their businesses have gone down, and the poor are becoming poorer. It is good that the bill, the committee proposes to disagree with the proposal to tax bread and also wheat and maize flour. Instead, the committee proposed to maintain a zero rating the bread, wheat, and the maize flour, so that the cost of these items can remain the same. And in doing so, it means that the suppliers can now claim back their VAT. Then on the issue of motorcycles, which gives most of our youth, and especially the unemployed also, their livelihood, the committee disagreed with adding 15% on these motorcycles. And by removing this, by doing so, it will enable more people, more youth who are unemployed and whose employment is, they get income from the motorcycles, from the business of Bodaboda. It will actually help them get the motorcycles at the same rate as they were getting. Otherwise, Madam Speaker, I support the bill with amendments as proposed by the committee. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Very well. And now we have the member for Isiolo North, the Honorable Ulufoda. The member for Isiolo North, yes.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, for the opportunity to contribute to this bill, the Finance Bill 2021. Madam Speaker, I would like to thank the Chair, who has also demonstrated that indeed the bill discusses various proposed amendments to tax laws. Tax which is supposed to finance our budget for this year and for the year starting in July. As I speak, Madam Speaker, I am mourning because some of the government agencies for which we are raising revenue to protect lives and livelihood of our people have failed in their jobs. I lost 6 innocent constituents who were murdered in cold blood on Sunday, because of reckless creation of administrative divisions in contested areas. And therefore, my people are being forcefully evicted by bandits who seem to enjoy state protection. Because when we want to retaliate, they are protected by GSU and RDU. And these RDUs and GSUs, who are paid through our taxes, are not protecting my people. I hope I can see some members of Committee on National Security. I'm going to raise this. It's very unfortunate. And majority of these people are women who were killed while they were sleeping. And as if we are in Somalia, where there's no functional government, a borehole was burnt down at Madawale. It's very unfortunate. And as we move forward, I want to make it very clear
that we are Kenyans, we pay taxes like any other Kenyans, and we are entitled to state government protection. And if we are not protected, we can cover for ordinary Kenyans. And I'm sure this will encourage as many of our people as possible to actually take that cover. Madam Speaker, zero rating of bread, wheat flour, maize flour, these are the basic things that Kenyans need as food. Although as we speak, bread is already a luxury for most of the Kenyans. Not many Kenyan homes are able to buy and consume bread. But all the same, I think zero rating them is very important, and I support it. Unfortunately, anybody who proposes a tax of 15% on Bodaboda probably does not live in this country, or either is so detached from the sector which support majority of Kenyans. I completely oppose this. Madam Speaker, in my constituency, Isiolo North, majority of our youth actually earn their livelihood from Bodaboda. And most of them don't own motorbikes. They actually ride leased motorbikes. They are required to pay 300 per day. So if they get more than 300, and after deducting the fuel cost, that is what they retain. I'm sure that tax is going to affect this sector, and therefore I would like the committee to seriously consider zero rating or actually tax exempting Bodabodas. One thing which probably we need to do is to encourage manufacturers of motorcycles to set up assembly plants through tax incentives so that we can create employment at factory level and so on and so forth. We need also to consider seriously, as members of National Assembly, restoring the pay-as-you-earn relief, which was actually put in place at the beginning of COVID pandemic. Because whatever we earn as a result of that tax relief normally goes into, increasing the disposable income of people, and therefore it will boost the local trade and so on and so forth. I also support, I propose tax exemption for local confectionaries so that we can protect the local manufacturers and therefore also protect the local jobs and so on and so forth. Madam Speaker, I'm not, unlike me, I'm not in a very good mood actually to make sober contribution because of what has happened in my constituency. I beg now to sit down. I support and therefore allow my other colleagues to contribute to this debate.
Very well. The member for Rongai constituency, the Honorable Moi Kipruto.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, for the opportunity to remark on this finance bill.